All right, there we go. Had to get the lighting right. I wanted you to be able to see, I've got hummingbirds behind me, but it's so bright out there that if I face the camera that way, you can't see me. And I'm right outside the restroom, so I was also trying to avoid having that in my view, but that's all right. I'm sorry that I couldn't get a video out today. I've been dealing with hardware issues. Hello. Yeah, like I said, I didn't really want to be right outside the restrooms, but it's the only place that I've got internet right now. For some reason, I think they were working on the towers today. I could not get access. How do I turn pop-ups? Hello, John. I couldn't get my morning video out. There was a team in here all day. I assumed that they were looking to try to work on the internet, but I was told that they're surveying the state park to see what it would take to get internet in here. I can tell you what it would take: a cell tower, one with enough signal to get through these trees. They want to be able to cover the whole park because the park is big, and if you get all the way in the back someplace and you fall and sprain an ankle or whatever and you can't hike out, they want you to be able to call them. Some parts of the park you can do that, but not all. And the areas that I know that you can't very well are in the campsites. So if somebody were to have a medical emergency there, you'd have to run into town, up here to the visitor center. If it's during the day, there'd be somebody here, but there is an after-hour number that's posted up on the door, so you can go there, but they're just trying to improve the park a little bit, which is good. I enjoy being here and I feel safe, but that would help for everybody else. Some of these city slickers that come out here and don't know what they're doing. Yeah, there's a strong cell tower to the north of us, but it's across the other side of the river, and it's probably 10 miles away, and you've got to go through the trees to get to it. When I'm at my campsite, I've got cell signal on my phone, maybe 1 bar. With my cell phone booster, I can get maybe 3. With my new internet access, it's not going to get any stronger than the original signal, and I can use it, and I have. I just uploaded a video today. Finally, it took me 4 hours to get it uploaded. Once I figured out what I had to do to get around whatever's not working right. I don't think it's my equipment, because I went into town and it seemed to be working better. But because I was going in to try to find my provider to get him get there and help there, I didn't take everything with me. So if I was thinking, I would have taken my laptop with me with the video on it, and I'd have uploaded it right there. But I thought I had a hardware problem, and so I took my phone in. Anyhow, we're seeing things slowly get worse around us, and we've got to be ready. My video tomorrow, I'm going to be reading out of the Beatitudes. You got to laugh when stuff like this comes up, where somebody's drying their hands. Satan's just in there just trying to dig in. That means he doesn't like me doing this. That's good. My answer to Satan: go to hell. Okay. Well, he knows he's going there, and he won't stop being an idiot. He's read to the end of the Bible too. He knows what's coming, and he's ready to do his little bit at the end. I have to keep putting my glasses on. Well, it could. There's no timing on it. as I mentioned before, Paul was looking for the rapture, so it could happen anytime. People keep saying we've got the fall festivals, they're high watch. Yeah, they could be, but there's nothing saying that they are. We know that the spring festivals have already been fulfilled, but I don't know if the fall ones are coming down out of this next batch, but we'll see what happens. Let me see if I can get this a little better adjusted. There we go. I can sit back in my rocking chair now. Now, when I tried this with my phone, I'd go in and out as I would go back and forth. So if my sound drops off or goes in and out, let me know and I'll stop moving around. I'm a fidgeter, I can't sit. And so for me to be able to do this, I was hoping right here, how do I do it? How do I get up there with my finger? Right there is a hummingbird feeder. And you might watch and see if you can see some hummingbirds. They were really active. And I'm going, these hummingbirds are acting like people. I counted 6 of them. And there's 3 flowers on each one of these feeders. They could have sat there and shared the feeders, and there's enough water, sugar water in there to have fed them all tonight for the next week. And yet they were fighting over them constantly. Here comes one on the other feeder that I'm looking at. There goes, you can see one on the back one behind me coming in and out. They could have shared and there wouldn't have been any problem. But they were buzzing each other, chasing each other off. They were spending all their time doing that. They needed sugar water just to have the energy to keep fighting each other off. Thank you for that. Yeah. Are we going to recognize each other? I don't know. We're going to get new bodies. We can't go to heaven with these bodies. These are earthly bodies. So we know we're going to get new bodies. We're going to go to heaven. We're going to wait out the rest of the bad stuff to happen, and then we're going to come down and help rule for 1,000 years. I'm assuming we're going to keep our heavenly bodies and just go back and forth. Satan has been doing that for years. He lives in heaven. He comes down here to torment us, to see what we're doing, and then go back and tell God, as if God doesn't already know. But if we've confessed to Jesus, then he's already taken care of it. So God doesn't care. The old deal with we dealt with in the Old Testament with Job, he thinks he can keep doing that. But Christians, we're forgiven. We're forgiven instantly when we accept Christ, and we're forgiven every day we come to him and ask for forgiveness. We still have a sin nature. We've got to pray every day. The Lord's Prayer is a daily prayer. And as I've said before, I recommend that you pray it in the morning or something like that in the morning and in the evening when you've got more things to talk about. Okay, I'm going to read a little bit out of Matthew, because I've noticed that sometimes when I'm talking that in my comments I get a lot of people who are concerned, and you don't need to be. I don't know how many times, I think it's over 360 some odd times it says don't be afraid or do not worry. That's one of the biggest themes. Jesus came down here to show that he could conquer death as well as be a sacrifice for us. And everywhere he went, he talked to his audience. He talked in the synagogues, and the religious leaders there were amazed at how he talked. He talked to the common folk. When he goes sit on a mountain, which is what I'm reading now out of Matthew for the Beatitudes, he's talking to 5,000 or more. He's got to have a good, strong voice to be able to do that. Sitting up on top of a mountain, it's sort of like an amphitheater, but they didn't have one close by, so he made the best. And sometimes he'd be out on the boat talking, or they're on the land. And again, it's like an amphitheater. Sound carries over water very well. So I'm in Matthew, what is this? Matthew 6, 6:25. And as I said, it's in here a lot. So Matthew 6:25, do not worry. Therefore I say to you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more important than food and your body more important than clothing? He's giving very simple instructions to the common people. But we need to hear this too, because sometimes we read over this and we don't think about it. Because we've got, we're way ahead of this. Well, God says, don't get ahead of me. Don't forget the basics. Because we have to teach the basics. The world out there doesn't know Jesus. We do. We have faith in him. But the world doesn't. So don't talk to the world at the level you're at. Talk to the world at the level they're at. Like I said, somebody on stage knows how to talk to their audience. The better the performer, the better they can read the audience. I wouldn't go out on stage and read the book of Revelation to anybody, frankly, to anybody, but we will talk about it. But you have to have a knowledge of the Bible. Otherwise, you won't understand it. Now, the first 3 chapters are okay. It starts getting crazy in 4. By the time you get to 6, they're not going to figure it out. And I've taught a little bit on it, and I've told you that it's not linear. Too many people are still teaching it linear because it didn't matter to the people that came up with the teaching. Okay, continuing on in 26. Look at the birds of the air, for they neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not more valuable than they? There's another one up on the feeder. Now, we're feeding them, but those little plastic flowers are meant to look like real flowers. There's food out there for them, but by putting the feeders up, we get to watch them. Which of any of you, by worrying, can add 1 cubit to his stature? Can you make yourself taller, shorter, whatever your problem is? Can you fix it by thinking about it, by worrying about it? Yeah, I mean, we're seeing this wars and rumors of wars all around us. North Korea just started up one of their reactors again, the one that makes war-grade uranium. They're all getting ready for this. I think, though, that we're not tied to these, so don't worry about them. We're going to get out of here before. We've got the Revelation 12 sign. That's my key for our rapture. Satan's going to come down here with 1/3 of his angels intent on killing us. And that's why we're going to be raptured. All the other stuff going on, don't worry about it. Jesus said, don't worry about it. These are birth pains. Okay, there's nothing you can do about them. It's nice to know. Yeah, I just seen your comment about Pentecost. The Jewish calendar is messed up for 2 reasons. One, their year is 360 days and ours is 365. So we're on a different calendar. Theirs is lunar, ours is solar. The other problem is they do everything they can to avoid any of the holidays that have to do with Jesus. So if there's a Jewish holiday that falls on a date that we're talking about Jesus, they move the date. No reverence to God, no reverence to Jesus. They hate Jesus. The people that wrote the instructions to the Jewish people when the temple was destroyed were the same people that crucified him. They're full of hate. They're not full of God. And so they're constantly attacking Jesus. Now we've got Christians that are attacking Jews too. Martin Luther was anti-Semitic. They blamed, the Jews for killing Christ. Well, maybe they did, but it was his sacrifice. He allowed them. He said he could have sent a legion of angels to save him, but there was no need to. He was there for a purpose, and the Jews at the time played part of that purpose. Thank you for joining in. Harpazo Airlines, yeah, that's a cool name. I tried to get names for mine, and I tried the end times, and I tried A Voice in the Wilderness, and I couldn't get them, but I put them both together and it fit. So, all right, we're continuing to read on from Jesus instructing the common people so they know what to do. They were in perilous times, and they were going to be in more perilous times coming up. He's still here teaching, so he hasn't gone away to provide the Spirit yet. That's correct. He was here for a reason. Even the bad guys that are doing the things to the world that they're doing right now are carrying out God's will for this planet. It's very presumptuous of us to ask God to stop doing the things that are happening. Look to the daily prayer. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So in other words, God, we don't know how to fix this. We don't know what the problem is. We ask that you do what needs to be done. Praying that we're out of here means that we're going to get out of here and there's going to be some souls left behind. And I have to wait till the second rapture. You don't want that. So be careful when you ask for things because you think it's too tough. Instead of asking for things to get better, ask for strength and confidence. And like I just got through reading, do not be afraid. God is going to take care of us. Okay, I'm going to continue on here. So why do you worry about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. And yet I say to you that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Look at the beauty of the earth. I'm out here camping to show you that you can do it. I'm out amongst all the creations of God. You see trees behind you. I've got flowers over here. Directly behind me, you can't see it, is a blueberry bush that I helped myself on when it was in bloom. I see deer every day in this park. These are all God's creations that he put down for us so we wouldn't be bored. Well, that's correct. We're going to be out of here long before it gets wrathful. But the only wrath that we see starts off, if you want to count the seals, you can count those. But the only part that really talks about wrath is the bowls. But we're going to be out of here before the seals, so don't worry about it. Okay, well, that would be great to see on the 24th. I hope you can make it, God willing. He will protect you while you're there. At some point in time, it's not going to be a place to be. So see it while you can. I've been trying to get over there, but every time I try to leave Georgia, he keeps telling me to stay. So he's got me where he needs me, and I'm going to continue to stay here. And I told him if he wants me to go to Israel, he's going to have to pay the way. Okay. Now, if God so clothes the grass of the field, which today is and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, will he not much more clothe you? Are you of little faith? Therefore, do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, and what shall we wear? For after all these things the Gentiles seek. And he's talking to the Jews, but the Jews back then are like the Jews today. They're Jews by DNA, but not by religion. Now, their religion did require certain times that they go to sacrifice, and most of them would do that. Hello. And a nice big dog up here lapping some water. Which trail did you come in on?
We just walk along the road. Yeah.
It's actually quicker than taking the trail alongside here,
Oh, yeah?
but it's hotter.
Yeah. The sun is like beating down straight on us.
Yeah, what I normally do when I do this hike is I'll hike up here when it's hot,
Yeah.
stay up here for a little bit, and then take the road back.
Oh, okay.
Just leave me here.
There you go.
The water fountain doesn't work, but if you have a water bottle, you can fill it up on the tap up there.
Oh, okay. Cool.
The
This one?
Yeah, that one works, but the cooler went out, which took out the water down below.
I got you. Okay. Thank you. We wanted to keep walking. I had to convince him to turn back. We wanted to keep going. So let's go, buddy. There you go. Come on. You get smart home. Let's go. Come on. Have a good night.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've looked at the airfare over there, and I'm close to Atlanta, which is a hub, so I can get over there on a direct flight. But if I do that, then I'm not doing this. So I think I'm better off to stay here, because I don't think I've got a lot of time to do this. If our Rapture is this fall, Chicago's a hub. My dad played for the Cubs. He lived there in Chicago, long time ago, probably before both of us were born. Yeah. Plus, with all of our inflation going on, everything's way too expensive. Back when I thought about it before, my dad played in 1939 to 40, I think. And then let me think. No, I got it backwards. He played for Boston in 39 and 40, and they traded him to Chicago in 41. Okay. I wasn't even born yet, so I'm just going by his pictures. You can find him in any baseball encyclopedia. He will tell you he wasn't that good, but he was good enough to be there. His name was Leslie Fleming. So, yeah, thank you for serving over there. My service time goes back to Vietnam, so I haven't had to fight any of these modern wars. And Vietnam was bad enough, so I know what you guys have to go through to do that, so thank you. This is the only thing problematic about being here is that I've got all the end of the day people come in here for water and restrooms and okay, so where am I at? Okay, I'm at 31. I don't know if I got that far, but so therefore do not worry, saying, what shall I eat, or what shall I drink, or what shall I wear? For after all these things the Gentiles seek, for your heavenly Father knows that you need all these things. But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. Now, God likes to talk to you, so don't just sit around knowing that God knows you need these things, is not going to provide them. But talk to him. He wants to hear you. Just ask for him. And he'll provide them. These are needs. We're not talking about wants. So don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own. And that's my reading for now. I have to go back and finish the setup on the video that just uploaded for tomorrow morning. And this is going to take care of today. So we're going to actually have this one up live, and then in the morning there'll be another one. I've got to figure out really what the problem is. I haven't. What I've done today is come up with patches to work around. I've got new hardware, but even my cell signal on my phone wasn't working today. So they may have been working on the tower. They may have been trying to boost the signal. They might have been trying to work with the team that was out here. It would really be nice for them to have internet here. At the visitor center, they have a satellite dish. And one of the rangers down the road here has a Starlink dish. I see the antenna, the little square one on the ground. and it works fine, but it's out of my budget right now. The unit is $500, which is a one-time purchase. It's not as much as a laptop, which I just did a fundraiser for, and that's what I'm broadcasting on, thank you. But it's $150 a month for the service, and that's too much right now. So we'll worry about that later. As long as this works, we're okay. And I'm making it work right now, so we've got this. I may just have to drive up here every night. All right. Thank you for joining in. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Yeah, if your grandpa's still around, thank him for it. Yeah, it was a tough time. Now, I was in the Navy, so I didn't have to see what the foot soldiers did. And I wasn't in one of the jungle patrol boats, so I was on a destroyer. But we got to see some action. We got to lob some shells at the shore bases, and we got shot back at. But we made it through that, thank God. But war is never good. It is always the last resort. And we end up having to step in usually and save because we've always been a good country. But I'm afraid that that good country is gone. We're never going to see that good country again. Israel is right now contemplating whether they're going to tell us that they're going to take us off their good nation list because they're about ready. You're welcome. Thank you. I enjoy doing this. That's one of the good things about working for God. If you take advantage of your gifts of God, you will have fun doing it. It's not work. It's only work if you don't enjoy doing it. Now, today was a little hectic because I was running around trying to figure out what was going on. But that kind of changes up the pace a little bit, keeps me on my toes. So we're okay. We will eventually probably lose internet. I can guarantee we will probably lose this channel and others. That's why I'm trying to do what I can to learn Telegram. And if you really want to see some of the stuff, the latest that's going on, go over to Telegram and find Amir Safate, because he's broadcasting multiple messages a day. I'm just going to take you over there on my channel and see what he's just recently said. As soon as there's an attack someplace, he knows about it. Okay, Iran and Russia moved to create a global natural gas cartel. Russia wants to dominate that entire area. Now, Iran doesn't really have the gas that Russia does, but Russia doesn't have as much gas as they want. They want this is on Amar Safate's Telegram site. I have got to study this some more. I think what I'm doing wrong is I'm putting my videos too long. These are long teaching videos, and I like doing these. But if I go over to Telegram, I can't have them this long. 5-10 minutes would be the max. 5 minutes, it looks like. Lots of stuff going over there. The Middle East is a definite hotbed, and we're about to sign the nuke deal with Iran that's going to give them everything they asked for. We come down and say, here's a red line, don't cross it. They step across it and say, we want more. We put another red line, they step across it, we want more. And we, during this current administration, are saying, okay, are we good now? Can we make a deal? No, we want more. Okay, what do you want? Okay, can we make a deal? Iran's just playing this silly game. And in the end, we're going to give them $100 billion a year to use for terror because we're going to remove the tariffs. Israel's begging, don't do that. You will create the destruction of Israel, looking at it from their point of view. Now, we know God's going to protect them, but look what they have to deal with in the meantime. Yep. Yeah, I think before the Ezekiel war, certainly we know Damascus is going to get hit from Isaiah. There's a lot of places going to be destroyed over there. I think we're out of here. Because once they start attacking Israel, they're attacking the woman in Revelation 12. We're the child. We're going to come back to earth and rule with a rod of iron. Well, that's the same description given to Jesus for the millennium. But we're coming back with him to assist him. Yeah, the Middle East basically is ready. What they're waiting on, I think, is the world. The harlot's still getting things set up. I think it's tied to our money collapse here in the United States. Our dollar is going to be worthless here soon. That's why they're spending like drunken sailors. It's monopoly money. If I was playing with monopoly money, I'd be spending like that too. Because soon they're going to collapse it. Then they're going to have digital money ready to replace it. And you wait, they're going to say, we're going to give you 2,000, 5,000 in digital money and get everybody converted over to it. Oh, and by the way, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, we might delay your getting access to it. The harlot's going to treat us just the same way the Antichrist will, but he's going to require worship. Well, there's plenty in the United States that can bring the United States back, but there's plenty that are fighting us. And this is part of the end times. So we need to be focusing on saving people to get them out of here, because I don't think there's any hope for the United States yet. Yeah, they want to chip people. And I just saw that Tesla, Musk wants to chip for their cars. So they're going to put a chip right here in your hand. That's for your cars. Do you think it's going to stop a thief? A thief is going to come up and cut your hand off and go open the car and probably wear the hand around their neck. We're talking about evil here. You can't stop evil that way. (1467), the executive order, that goes into effect on December 23rd, I think. So even if we don't have a timeline for the rapture or the start of all the events in the tribulation time frame, we can see what's happening in the world. We can't last much longer down here. All right, everybody be safe. Take the time to read your Bible. Yeah, I figured that. We've got the election coming up, and nobody in the Democratic Party seems to be concerned. I occasionally will watch the normal media just to see what's going on. They're not worried. They're not hitting the airwaves constantly with, we need to do this, we need to try to change this, or they're massive lies that if you elect us, we're going to give you everything that you want. They're not doing that. They're not worried about the election. That should worry us. Okay? But we've got Feast of Trumpets coming up. We've got Tabernacles after that. Those are two high watch periods if they're going to hit on those days. God is not going to make them hit on those days, but Satan might want to attack on a Jewish holiday. That's when Israel seems to get attacked, is on Jewish holidays. Yep. So you all be safe. Check out my video in the morning, which should have been this morning's. And I'll try to get back to normal. I've at least anticipated this problem now. So for tomorrow, my video is already up there. I'll be dealing with a video for the next day. I know how to deal with it now if I can't get things working. Well, we're turning our back on Israel. So, I mean, we've been killing babies with abortion. We've been paying enemies of Israel. And now we're about ready to just completely turn our back on them. We don't have a chance in the United States. And that's probably why they're not mentioned in the book of Revelation. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this, get back to my tent and finish editing the other one. You have, let's see, we're on Saturday, aren't it? Okay, so I will be going to church in the morning on Sunday, and then I'll work on my video after that. God bless. We'll see you in the clouds.